Ladies and gentlemen, please, will you bring your attention to me? Alright, folks, we're back. Yay! It's been a rough day. Alright, we are back with the next part of job hunting, or Realm Reborn. Now we finished up the Uladal section, and now we're moving on to Gridania. Today we're going to be doing the Bard story for ARR. So, already loaded up at the Bard Guild and New Game Plus active, so let's go check this out. Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to the Archers Guild. It is here that archers the realm over gather to master the bow. We engage the enemy from a distance, ever seeking to alter the course of battle with a single well-placed arrow. If you have a mind to become an archer, then you have come to the right place. Do you wish to join our ranks? Yes. Marvelous. Then allow me to enlighten you on the history of both our art and the guild. The bow is an ancient tool that has existed since before our fair nation came into being. As an implement of war and hunting both, it protects us from our enemies, even as it keeps us fed and clothed. Archery, as practiced in Gridania, was born of two distinct styles of bowmanship. The first was devised by the longbow sentries of the Elizans who once ruled the lowlands, while the second belonged to the shortbow hunters of the formerly nomadic Makote. As you will doubtless be aware, both races ultimately came to call the Twelveswood home. Though the two peoples began as rivals, they gradually learned to live together in harmony. During this time, they learned from one another. There are two schools of archery intermingling to give birth to the art, as it is known today. But this wouldn't have been possible were it not for the Trappers League. The guild was established in order to promote sustainable hunting and cooperation within the hunting fraternity at large. As a happy consequence of this union, the guild's members came to engage in friendly contests of skill. Inspired by such competitions, a handful of their number began to focus on perfection as opposed to mere practicality. Transforming a skill into what may be termed an art. These individuals would go on to form a guild of their own. The Archers Guild, where men and women gather to attain mastery over the bow. More than a few members of the God's Quiver loosed their first arrow within these very halls. And that, my friend, is a brief history of archery in Gridania. Doubtless you are more eager than ever to take up the bow. It would be my pleasure to recommend you to our guild master. You must receive her permission if you are to join us. If you would excuse me a moment, I shall see to it that the relevant lists are amended. Pray speak to me again in a short while. Is that short enough? So, are you resolved to join the Archers Guild? The look in your eye bespeaks your determination. It would be my pleasure to refer you to Guildmaster Lucien. Lest you worry unduly, Lucien is an affable and kind-hearted woman. Even those not of the guild have been known to seek her counsel on various matters, and ever have they been given fair hearing. Lucien awaits you in the training area yonder. Present yourself before her, and impress upon her your desire to join the guild. Greetings, adventurer. I am told you wish to join our ranks. I am Lucien, the master of the Archers Guild, and I bid you welcome. Our doors are open to all who have the will to learn. Allow me to explain the basics of our art and offer you a foretaste of that which we teach the members of our guild. The bow's greatest advantage is its range. Unlike those arms used in other disciplines of war, it allows one to strike at the enemy from afar. Though the bow may not boast the destructive force of a sword or spear, its myriad strategic applications more than compensate for this shortcoming. An experienced archer can immobilize an enemy by striking a leg or sap its strength with a poisoned arrow. Rise to become a virtuoso of archery, and a veritable deluge of death will be yours to rain down upon your foes. By fighting from a distance, we can better assess the battlefield and thereby determine the most advantageous course of action. This is of paramount import, as our role in battle is to exploit the enemy's weakness. With the requisite placement and timing, but a single arrow may serve to turn the tide. To this end, the guild seeks to instill a discerning eye within its members, that they may learn to strike the vulnerabilities swiftly and surely. Now, any halfwit can bend the bow, but it is no simple undertaking to become a skilled archer. You must be prepared for a long and arduous journey. Are you resolved to complete that journey? Yes. That is well. From this moment forth, you may consider yourself one of our number. Now, lend me your hunting log if you would. I shall add it to the names of such creatures as would provide a fitting challenge to an archer. And to help you on your way, I bestow upon you this short bow. Arm yourself with your new weapon and then speak to me again. I would have you undertake a trial to gauge your fitness to join the guild. Oh God. Oh God. Yes, the bow becomes you, Strife. Now, before proceeding any further, I must needs gauge your innate aptitude for archery. To this end, I hereby assign you the following trial. Slay the squirrels, ladybugs, and fungars that roam just beyond the city gates. 3 of each should suffice. In doing so, you will prove your fitness to join the Archers Guild. It goes without saying that you must do so using your bow. Report back to me when the task is accomplished. Go now, Strife, and earn your place within these halls. Let's go! Welcome back, Strife. It would seem you have successfully completed the trial. You have proven yourself worthy of a place within these halls. It is with pleasure that I name you an Archer of the Guild. As fellows of the path, let us together strive for greater mastery of our arts. Now, though you may be a member of the Archers Guild, know that your seniors will not coddle you with personal attention. It is up to you to seek out the experiences you need to grow as an archer. By way of first step, I encourage you to practice proper technique. Use arrow after arrow, paying close attention to form until the movement becomes second nature. When drawing your bowstring has become as natural to you as drawing breath, and the world seems clear when viewed down the shaft of an arrow, return to me. Go well, young apprentice. Yes, let the hate flow through you, my young apprentice. Good evening to you, Strife. I felt that it was about time you returned. Have you grown more accustomed to the bow? Before we go any further, I wish to ensure that you have grasped the fundamental essence of archery. Tell me, Strife, do you truly understand what it means to see clearly? To see clearly is not merely to look, it is to observe with intent. Fail to do this, and no amount of talent with a bow will avail you. An archer must remain vigilant for any trace of his target, overlooking not the smallest detail lest it prove crucial to the realization of his purpose. He must, in short, see clearly. The coming task will test your powers of observation. A number of targets have been hidden throughout the city. I would have you seek out and destroy them. Each will fall easily to your heavy shot technique. When you have completed the task, return to me and we will continue. You've returned, and I trust you have begun to comprehend the crucial importance of seeing clearly. The next trial will test your powers of observation in battle. Travel to the North Shroud, and there put down 8 micro-tubes and 8 opo-opos. In contrast to the inanimate and wholly unthreatening targets of the previous trial, these creatures may be relied upon to move around and fight back. Nor are those the only differences. Being comparatively numerous, micro-tubes and opo-opos are anything but difficult to find. And yet you may be assured that this task will test your powers of observation, albeit in a different manner. This time you will need to evaluate the abilities of your opponent. In so doing, you will learn, amongst other things, that micro-chews produce a poison that can quickly sap one's strength, while opo-opos, like archers, possess the advantage of range. Knowing their strengths, how will you go about mitigating them? If you commence your attack before identifying an effective strategy, you will soon be made to regret your folly. But if you take the time to observe your targets from afar, you will surely glean the knowledge necessary to defeat them. I look forward to hearing of your success, Strife. Well, that's one down. That was simple. The power of level 100 compels you. The Bard storyline can be a little bit of a sledge for the first little bit. Or sludge. Welcome back, young Strife. Tell me, were you able to put your techniques to good use? When faced with an enemy who can attack from a distance, simply raining arrows upon him is a wasteful and dangerous bow. The battle would be not more than a contest of strength. By employing the appropriate technique, however, one may bring down one's foe with greater ease and fewer arrows. For instance, you may choose to prime your weapon well and strike hard, or avoid toxins and sap their strength over time. On the assumption that this fact dawned upon you prior to the fall of your 16th target, I congratulate you on passing the trial. Lay? Severe? What is your honest evaluation? Not bad, if you ask me. The adventurer pulls a good bow and is enthusiastic besides. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Lay Alepo, or Alepo, and this is my second year at the guild. It's quite plain that you have talent with a bow, but you must take care to mind your surroundings when you're pursuing a target. I had my eye on you for the duration of your trial, but not once did you notice my presence. Mind your surroundings. That's rich coming from you. Your every movement is wasteful, adventurer. Your back is crooked, your elbows misaligned. It takes you an age to prime your bow and twice as long to loose an arrow. In summary, you fail on all counts. You have no talent as an archer, none whatsoever. I shall say it plain, Lucien. This man is not fit to wield a bow. For our sake and his, we should revoke his membership. As I've always said, outsiders can scarce be expected to understand, never mind master, our noble art. We waste our breath trying to teach his like. Well, allow me to introduce you to Silver, our comrade at the butts. The fellow was once of the god's quiver, you see, and he can be a little opinionated when it comes to archery. But you mustn't pay him any heed. He's like that to everyone. You'd be lucky to get much sense out of a fossil-brained wildwood Ellerston like him at the best of times. With them, it's always 12 like this, and elementals that, and... Oh, no offense intended, Lucien. None taken, Lane. I know full well that some of my kind can be prideful to excess and intolerant of other races. Although people may behold the same object, ever will they see different things. There's no right or wrong to it, for it is a question of perspective. What matters is the perspective we choose to adopt. You are possessed of bright eyes, Strife, eyes that bespeak great understanding. They shan't lead you astray, so trust them and to what they see. Go now and resume your training, and look forward to marking your progress when next we meet. It pleases me to see how you've grown as an archer. Plainly, you have taken my counsel to heart and learned to see with your own eyes. I would now have you discover what it means to behold things from a different standpoint. You will recall Leopo, your senior in the guild. I have given you over to her care for this lesson. Speak with her and do as she bids. I've been expecting you, Strife. Shall we get on with it then? First, a quick review. Remember how the bowmaster had you seek out and destroy targets throughout the city? Well, I would have you do the same. This time, however, you will need to venture outside the gates. I'm sure you've realized this by now, but there is no guarantee of safety within the 12-wood. As you search, you should take care to mind your surroundings. You won't have the luxury of focusing solely on your quarry this time. You'll have to keep your eyes peeled for potential threats as well. That said, your objective is to destroy the targets alone, so avoid unnecessary combat and maintain a safe distance from any hostile creatures you encounter. Should you come under attack, take to your heels, risking direct confrontation only if you can't outrun your pursuers. The targets are hidden in the central shroud. As before, use the heavy shot technique to destroy each one with a single arrow. Go well, Strife. Only 6 targets. Oh, it's been a day. Well, you made short work of those targets, I must say. It seems you've learned to seek your prey without being preyed upon. Let's continue then. I have in mind to give you a more practical experience, and we've received a request just recently which I think will provide the perfect opportunity. It seems tree slugs and vultures have been congregating in ever-increasing numbers in the vicinity of the honey yard, causing no end of trouble for the locals. We've been tasked with culling the beasts. The request comes direct from Stillglade fame, when the wood whalers and the god's quiver cannot spare the forces to attend to such matters. The conjurers often turn to us for help, and before you ask, there's good reason why they would rather not see this particular task themselves. The creatures in question possess abilities which can cause problems for the magically inclined. But that's quite enough about conjurers' troubles. Lucienne taught you how to discern an enemy's keen traits, did she not? Well, now you'll need to do so while maintaining situational awareness, lest you be overrun. Consider this a comprehensive review of her lessons and mine own. Your orders are as follows. Head up to the East Shroud, and there put down 8 tree slugs and 8 vultures, using all of the skills you have acquired thus far. Good hunting, Strife. To East Shroud! Oh, that was so fun. Judging by your smug expression, I'd say you've acquired a feel for maneuvering to exploit enemy weaknesses whilst covering your own. Vultures are wont to keep their opponents at wing's length, and their attacks will send you flying. The solution to this is simple: maneuver to the rear. Tree slugs, on the other hand, have an annoying knack of disrupting spellcasting with their secretions. As such, you would do well to keep the creatures away from any mages in your party. Needless to say, good positioning is the key to success in battle, which is why it is absolutely essential that you know your target's traits. The knowing of these traits is a fundamental part of hunting. Before the Keepers of the Moon conceived of archery, they dwelt not in the city, but the forest. For my people, hunting was a way of life. In hindsight, I suppose this was more a lesson on hunting than on archery. Still, Lucienne knows well my past, mayhap that was her intent. Hunting, too, is an art. Before I came to Gridania, I never gave it much thought, but the more I think of home, the more I begin to realize. Forgive me, I'm not giving a fifth of sentiment. Truly, forget I said anything. But do not forget that a hunter must recognize his prey's weakness and strike swiftly when the opportunity presents itself. That concludes the lesson. Now I suggest you pay Lucian a visit. She will doubtless be eager to hear from you. It's good to see you, Strife. I hope you learned much from Lee. You, adventurer, is it true? Are you the one who slew the tree slugs and vultures? Yes. How dare she entrust the security of our people to the hands of a stranger? I knew Makote were reckless, but she is downright irresponsible. Shame on her! Did I not warn you that it was folly to suffer that woman's presence in our guild, Lucien? Every time she wastes an arrow on game, she drags our noble art back into the darkness. Aye, and this boy too. He is an embarrassment to us all. That is quite enough, Silver. Your skill with the bow is undeniable, as is your love for our nation, yet there is much and more you have yet to learn about archery. Strife has matured greatly in the short time that he has been with us. You know this to be true. I suggest you come to terms with Strife's presence here. You will be giving him his next lesson, after all. Unless, of course, you have any objections. Good. As for you, Strife, I would have you devote yourself wholly to training ahead of your lesson with Sylvain. Suffice it to say, he will not be an easy instructor to impress. Oh, on that we can agree. Welcome back, Strife. I trust you've been keeping your nose to the grindstone. As I mentioned when last we spoke, you will trade under Silver's tutelage today. Put aside your misgivings and avail yourself of his wealth of experience. Go now, present yourself before him. This ought to be good. I see it was too much to hope that you would not return. The others believe that you have potential, but I am not so easily convinced. Like so many adventurers, you have not the faintest inkling of what it means to be an archer. And how could you? Archery is the proud tradition of the Wildwood Elizabeth. The essence of this art, to read one's enemy, has been instilled in us over centuries. In that time, we have defended this great nation against every imaginable foe, granting us insight which you will never possess. Can you recognize the subtle signs that betray a coming action? No. Can you accurately predict an opponent's movement? No. Can you glean your foe's intentions at a glance? No. And can such things be learned by one who knows nothing of our traditions? No. It is only out of respect for Lucien that I have agreed to teach you. Go to Ystrad and seek out the targets hidden there, but do not presume this will be as easy as before. As I told you, the ability to read one's enemies is fundamental to archery, yet the trials set by my colleagues did not require you to do this. Mine will. The targets you seek have been hidden, and I do mean hidden, in the midst of a region rife with savage beasts. They will play the part of your enemies. It is in the unlikely event that you spy a target, your limited range will necessitate that you slip past its bestial guardians prior to taking aim. A feat I consider beyond you. Was that a frown? Mayhap you were thinking that the Makote set you a similar task? You are wrong. She asked you merely that you consider where your foes are. I demand that you discern precisely where they will be. How, then, will you go about this? Observe them closely and discern their characteristics. Learn to read their movements and recognize patterns in their behavior. If it has eyes, let it not see you. If it has ears, let it not hear you. Be neither where it is nor where it means to be, and thereby pass unnoticed. But enough talk. Whether or not you heed my counsel is your decision. I will shed no tears should you fail. Right. He's a kick in the pants, ain't he? Little does he know this is New Game Plus. I'm stuck. Back to Gridania. So you have returned, a passable performance for an adventurer, but the bare minimum for any archer. I carry with me generations of wildwood tradition, a tradition built upon the bones of many outsiders who tried to take what is ours. It was my ancestors who first learned to conceal their presence and fight from the shadows, to hold the enemy at distance to protect the weak. All of it, everything was... This is a waste of time, you cannot understand. But if you are so intent upon following in the footsteps of my people, I bid you go to North Shroud. Ixtal scouts have been sighted near the river west of Etop's Spire. And, unless you are entirely ignorant of Gridanian history, I need not explain that this act of aggression is part of a centuries-old conflict. The minions do not matter. It is their leader, Nuzul Catalan, the Violator, who must fall. He commands the scouts and will be well guarded. Yet he stands upon hostile ground, with birdmen and not walls for protection. If you are diligent and determined, you can slip through their defenses and slay their leader. This is the art of the Gridanian archer. Embrace the wisdom I have bestowed upon you, and the fight will be short. If you see the deed done, adventurer, I will take it as proof of your commitment to us, and labor no more to drive you from the guild. Now go. It almost seems like he's warming up to us a little bit. If I remember correctly, this is our first instance as an archer. Barf. Indeed, I was right. I'm pretty sure I'm geared proper. I think he's mad at me. Bye-bye. Back to Gridania. As you can tell, there's a lot of back and forth in the early stages. Even now, I struggle to credit the Sentry's reports. Yet here you are, and Nezzel Catalan, the violator, is no more. That a God's damned adventurer should be so... Only by the grace of Nimia herself could you have survived. But even though it was pure luck, I will keep my word, Strife. Should you stay or should you go, I care not. You have completed the task and are no longer my responsibility. Go now to Lucienne. She will doubtless wish to lavish you with praise. Oh, you'll get no more from me. Off with you. I'm given to understand that you single-handedly drove off an XIV scouting party, and that you did so with precision and guile. How exactly was that training, Lucienne? Strife's just an adventurer. Silver thrust him into the jaws of the enemy in the hope that he wouldn't come back. And when, against all expectation, he did come back, that stubborn R still refused to acknowledge his skill. Is that truly your impression? Well, yes, he said it was pure luck. Mere noise. Silver sees Strife's skill, of that I have no doubt. Did you not mark the way he covered his mouth when he uttered the words? It is a habit of his to do so on those occasions when his tongue and his heart are in disagreement. For all his skill at reading the idiosyncrasies of others, he has yet to recognize his own. Impressive work, Strife. You have applied yourself to lay at Silver's lessons and demonstrated your command of the core concepts. You are now an archer in your own right. Allow me to teach you something to commemorate this accomplishment. Repelling shot is an advanced technique that enables an archer to evade attacks whilst continuing to fire upon his opponent. Used wisely, it can grant you a brief respite in the heat of battle. I have faith that with regular practice you will learn how to best employ it to your advantage. Remember your senior's lessons as you strive for true mastery. Yes, I totally will not use that to launch myself off an edge. You come at a good time, Strife. I have a task for you. A petition has arrived from the proprietor of Bascaran Struthers out in the South Shroud. The petitioner, Bascaran himself, has requested our assistance in dealing with a gang of poachers. I would have the three of you meet with him and investigate his claims. The three of us, you mean Strife, myself, and... It would be better if I went alone, Lucienne. The Makote and the other one will only encumber me. Now, Silver, you will go as three. Also, it is past time you recognize Strife as a fellow archer. I will not. I have held my tongue on the matter of his continued presence here, but I will bend no further. Who in the seven hells do you think you are, Bowlord Lewin? In case you've forgotten, you aren't even a quiverman anymore. That may be, but I have shed blood defending our borders, unlike you, savage. Savage? You know nothing about me, you bigoted son of a... Enough! One more word, and you shall have cause to regret your petulance. The three of you will go to Bascaran Struthers in the South Shroud. Now, out of my sight. You know, that's the only thing I hate about that particular part. I feel like I got yelled at, and I just stood there being silent. It's like I got punished for just being in the same room as, like, a meltdown. You lot must be from the Archers Guild. Welcome, friends. Now, as your guild master will have said, I put in a request for some keen-eyed archers to help me track down a gang of poachers that have been plaguing these parts. If I may, it is not uncommon to find poachers in this region. While regrettable, neither the God's Quiver nor the Wood Whalers deem them worthy of attention. Why then did you imagine them worthy of ours? 'Cause these ain't no common poachers. They're a Poa Majuk's gang. They say she and hers are always moving, staying one step ahead, but I reckon she's hiding out here somewhere. Thing is, I can't just send my people out searching. I made a pact with the Red Belly Bandits, see? We stay out of their territory, and they don't make no trouble with the druthers. That being so, if I summoned the massed ranks of the Whalers and the Quivermen, all 7 hells would swiftly break loose. Assuming they thought the matter worthy of their attention, of course. Needless to say, that's not an option. As luck would have it, though, I got 3 keen-eyed archers to take care of things instead. And all without raising no alarms. We understand. You may leave the matter to us. Lay, Strife, split up and scour the area for any sign of the poachers. Should you discover anything, return here and wait. We'll reconvene to compare our findings ere long. Go. Let's go find some stuff. Got a poacher's arrow. Iron leg trap. And empty mead bottles. Feel like I just basically kind of cleaned up litter a little bit. An iron leg trap and a poacher's arrow. Those are both evidence of illegal activity, but nothing that will help us find Poa. And these mead bottles are but old refuse, from before the Druthers was even built. They have no connection to the gang. What do you know of this Poa woman, Silver? I know that she is the most infamous poacher ever to walk the Twelveswood. A born leader, deadly with the bow, she formed her own gang of Makote hunters. She was apprehended once, and she would have been brought to justice had she not tricked a foolish young sentry into releasing her, before vanishing without a trace. Is that so? In any case, we scoured the area and found nothing. How do we know this Poa was even here? Was ever even here? I say we inform the God's Quiver and the Wood Whalers, taking care not to implicate Ascarin and leave the rest to them. This doesn't concern the Archers Guild. It concerns Gridania, Lay. Poa Majuk is a savage and utterly immoral poacher whose actions, however indirectly, threaten the city's well-being. But what would a vagrant like you know of duty to one's homeland? No more than he, I suspect. How dare you? And you, Strife, say something. Now is not the time for this. Very well. We will return to the matter at hand. Mayhap we should take a second look at the clues we have gathered. Look all you want. Though the trap and the arrow we found suggest poaching, there is nothing remotely unusual about them. What do you think we should examine, Strife? This trap is a common tool used for hunting beasts. Such devices do not distinguish between friend and foe, and have been the cause of much tragedy for both man and chocobo. Gridania hunters would never stoop so low. Poachers, meanwhile, are wont to litter the forest floor with these accursed things. That said, I see nothing here that will lead us to Pawa. It's gotta be the mead bottles. Why are you still carrying that rubbish? I told you those bottles predate the druthers. They have no connection with this matter. But if those bottles are so old, why do they retain the scent of mead? They must surely have been opened recently. Wait. Before the calamity, Buscarin once served as a sentry, yet even then he sometimes spoke of owning his own tavern, and it was an open secret that he was brewing his own private stock. If some survived. Of course, Buscarin's scar, his old lookout post. It may not be Pawa Majuk, but we must investigate at once. Any signs? Look, the ground is covered in Makote footprints. These tracks are fresh, very fresh. I'll wager the bandits were alerted to our coming and fled, else they're hiding near... Take cover! Yeah, and there I was thinking we caught ourselves some of the meddling bloody masqueraders. Not that I'm complaining, hiding your face downright bloody rude when you ain't been introduced. Speaking of ill manners, don't you know it ain't decent to barge your way into a lady's bedchamber without knocking? You would lecture us on manners? Truly, I have heard it all. They have us outnumbered. We had best split up. The leader's mine. I'll try to isolate her from her litter. Silver, Strife, the rest I leave to you two. As you will. Simple enough. Was that the last of them? Have you seen Leopo? With me, Strife. Tisk, tisk. There was a piss poor showing, sister. And you call yourself a keeper. A hunter with no fangs ain't nothing but prey. No. Ah, bugger. Looks like playtime's over. Be seeing ya, sister. Report of a Scarab. 7 hells, they were at my old post? And they drank my old mead? That stinks most of all. Well, 'tis past time the proper authorities were informed. I'll send messengers to the Wood Whalers and God's Quiver. The Red Belly Bandits won't like it one bit, but I'll see they're told exactly who the military is after. I only hope it'll be enough. Of course, Boa Majuke's no fool. She knows she's been spotted. She'll break camp and be long gone by the time the next bell sounds. And the trail won't stay fresh long, neither. Anyway, you've done me a great kindness, friends. Tell Lysian I appreciate the help. Back to Gridania! Welcome back, Strife. Someone tells me that you encountered Boa Majuke. No Gridania could fail to recognize that name, so oft has it been spoken, and with such bitterness. I fear we lack the strength to face her ourselves. This is a matter for the God's Quiver and Wood Whalers. That you confronted her and survived is a testament to your growing mastery of our art. And I was surprised to note that Lay and Silver were not at loggerheads upon their return. I presume we owe this unnatural state of affairs to your calming influence? No? Modest to the last. Surely your every deed bespeaks clarity of vision far beyond your years. I implore you to share that perspective with your peers and help them to grow into better, wiser archers. As you go forth and temper your skills in battle, know that we always look forward to your return. Ah, Strife, I had hoped you would come. You may be able to help. I'm concerned about Lay and Silver. They show signs of losing perspective, and, well, mayhap it best you see it for yourself. I cannot help but feel that both would benefit from your counsel. Consider this a personal request, Strife. Oh, gosh, did Lucian send you to pester me by any chance? This is hardly her concern, and it is most definitely not yours. If you must know, I have decided to leave the guild. I mean to track down Boa Majuke and finish what we started. The God's Quiver and Wood Whalers seem content to ignore our warnings, but I will not let her escape again. I already made that mistake once, and it cost me my place in the God's Quiver. Aye, the foolish young sentry of whom I once spoke, he was me. We had her, Strife. There was no escape, but then she began to wail about a wounded comrade, one who would surely die without her help. She looked me straight in the eye and begged. And I blinked. I failed to see through the most elementary ruse. I failed, Gridania and the God's Quiver. And while that can never be forgiven, mayhap I can reclaim a measure of honor by stopping her. But a wanderer like you would not understand what it means to betray your people. Worry not, I do not intend to leave just yet. I will continue to gather information until I'm certain of the Juke's whereabouts. Make no mistake, though, It is only a matter of time. Now run along, will you? Oh, and if you're so concerned about your fellow guildmates, you should attend to that moping Makote. The sight of her shuffling around while staring at her feet is bad for morale. Not that it matters to me. Oh, it's you. Tell me, Strife, do you ever think about home? Do you ever wish you could go back? Well, if we're being completely truthful about this, I'm not even sure where home is. I just found myself in a cart, talking to some merchant dude. I don't even have a childhood I can recall upon. Mine was just another poor village in the Twelveswood. The fields were more stone than soil, and merchants hardly ever bothered to visit. We didn't have a lot, but we didn't need it. Then the calamity came. I remember running and the screams. It was so loud, Strife. So unbearably loud. And then I was here, in a strange city, surrounded by more people than I'd ever seen, and I didn't know any of them. But I knew how to hunt. I was always good at hunting, Strife, and the guild gave me a place to get better. At least I thought I'd gotten better. She, Puah Majuk, she was so much more... I've been thinking, Strife, that maybe this is a sign. Maybe Silver is right. This guild, this city, is no place for an outsider like me. And so I've decided to leave. I'm glad to have known you, Strife, even if it was only for a short while. Forgive me if this is too selfish a request, but before I go, I would like to meet with you one last time. Alone in the South Shroud, these Gridanians would not understand. Where in the South Shroud must I go? Where in the South Shroud must I go? No, don't hurt him. And I was thinking he mightn't accept my kind invitation. I don't recall inviting him, though. 'Tis rude to presume, Sonny, and I do so hate rudeness. Wait, it's not his fault, it's mine. I invited him. He's a member of the Archers Guild like me, and he's not Gridanian. I do recall his face. He knows how to hold a bow, that one. Well, he ain't the typical recruit, but I reckon I might be willing to make an exception. No, it's not like that. I wanted to say goodbye. Strife, ever since I met Puah, I've been at a loss, but I realize now that my place isn't at the guild with the Gridanians. They'll never accept me. This is where I belong, with my people, carrying on our traditions, our archery, not Gridania's. It's all I have left, Strife, so I'm going with Puah. Maybe you don't understand now, but just promise me you won't tell Lucien or Silver. The hells I won't. Strife. I had a feeling he might be harboring a few niggling rejections. Worry not, sister. Shoot the bastard. No! Ain't no love lost twixt ye and the guild, is there? And what's the problem with a feather and a bloody adventurer? No bugger will miss him. I'll miss him, all right. So just stop. Dear me, when I had such high hopes for you, Miss Eliapo. Waste of bloody time. A keeper what's lost her nerves about as much use to me as a glass bow. There's no sport in killing captured prey. I better not see neither of ye again, 'cause if I do, I'll show ye what happens to prey what's daft enough to get caught twice. Away, sisters, away. How do you do it, Strife? How do you live in this place, with these people? And why do you even bother? What have they ever given you besides scorn? Well, what do you see in them, Strife? Even though you joined the guild after I did, you've come so far so quickly. Maybe you've even surpassed me. I have to know what you've done and how you've done it. I have to know what it is that I'm doing wrong. And there's only one way I can think of to find out. Meet me at the panic. I believe that is essential. Shall we begin, Strife? Then defend yourself. Show me what these people have taught you. Are you sure you really want to do this? It's so simple. You have opened your eyes and looked beyond your master's faults. You've accepted their teachings and taken them to heart. Even Silver, for all his bigotry, wishes only to preserve his traditions. I lost sight of everyone else's struggles and became obsessed with mine own. I was so afraid to let go of my cherished notion of archery, my family's notion, and learn another way. I didn't want to betray them or dishonor their memory. But I have a family here too, a family that sees the wider world and is willing to show me how blinkered I have become. As archers, we train ourselves in minds to be unforgiving, to defy an attempt at concealment and discern the naked truth. It is little wonder, then, that I have neglected to look inside myself until now. Though unquestionably worthwhile, I have found the experience rather excruciating. Thank you, Strife. I know now that I belong at the guild, together with you and Lucien. And yes, even that bloody Wildwood. God's help me, I think I might actually miss him. Good. Guess what? Back to Gridania. Personally, as best I can recall, and also like having that reminder going through this again, I thought the Bard storyline or the Archer Bard storyline was rather weak compared to the other two. I'm not saying it's bad, just between the three starting rounds, I felt it was the weakest. Welcome home, Strife. You need not say a word. One look in the lady's eyes was enough. Thank you for returning her to us. When we focus on a single goal and pursue it with passion and fervor, it becomes easy to lose sight of what else lies before us. With your skill and vision, Strife, you can help your fellow archers to look beyond themselves and remember their comrades. I hope I can count on your support in the future. Thank the gods you've come, Strife. Perhaps you can talk some sense into this stubborn fool? Calm yourself, Silver. At least let us petition the Order of the Twin Adder for... There is no time, Lucien. Pawab would be long gone before their forces had even assembled. Alone, I can move more swiftly. Take these poachers by surprise and force them to divulge your location. We understand how you feel, Silver, but this is too reckless. At least permit Strife and me to accompany you. You, the adventurer and the savage, you cannot understand. Silver. But I do understand. I know what it means to take pride in your home, to want more than anything to protect it, and to be consumed by guilt when you cannot. I see what you're going through, Silver, and I understand. This guild taught me to open my eyes and see clearly. I beg you, Silver, open yours. You have friends here, ready to fight. You have us. I have never considered you my friends. Do not follow me. Well, his lying certainly hasn't improved. If he honestly thinks he's doing us a favor by forbidding us from getting involved, he's even a bigger fool than I imagined. Come, Strife, to the South Shroud. To the South Shroud, you say, and then you just stand there. Well, this is unfortunate. So there. Nay, Strife, I told you not to follow me. I neither need nor want. Don't take me for a fool. You cannot conceal the truth from this archer's eye. Strife, the others are almost upon us. We must make our stand here and protect Silver. If you're overpowered like me, you can pretty much just get away with a quick nope. I told you I do not need or want your assistance. Quite why you have deluded yourselves into thinking. You're the one who's deluded, thinking you could deceive us when even a blind man could see that you cover your mouth every time you tell a lie. Observe with intent, overlooking not the smallest detail, discern your subject's unique characteristics, and recognize patterns in their behavior. I learned these things from Lucien and from you. And I'll be damned if I'm going to watch you get yourself killed. There's still so much I don't know about Gridania and Wildwood archery. So much that I need you to teach me. I suppose fixing your form is the least I can do. Why, you... Pua's gang is already on the move. We have but one chance to catch them. Poachers throughout the Twelves would use bone whistles like this one to communicate with. With it, I believe we can lure Pua out of hiding, assuming she has not moved on. So that's why you came to Taker's Rod, for this gang's whistle. Strife, if you are determined to help me, I have a task for you. Pua was last seen near Izamhar, to the east of the camp. Through a hollow tree trunk, it is a clearing where two streams meet and ebbs are wont to congregate. We will lay our trap there, and you will be the bait. Do not fear, Strife. I swear on my honor as a Gridanian archer that no harm will come to you. Double instance. Bollocks. I knew I should have trusted me gut. Some blokes just can't take a hint. I do hope you will forgive my forwardness, madam. No, no, sir. 'Tis most flattering. Wouldn't ye agree, sisters? Why don't we show our gallant wildwood admirer and his mates just how much we appreciate their attentions? I hope you like it rough, darling. And I thought you only had eyes for me. Ooh, right in the back. I can't. I won't. Back to Gridania we must go. Turn this quest in and call it home. I'm relieved to see you again, Strife. Had the three of you not been united in your purpose, Bawamajuk would still be free, and one or more of you would surely be dead. I am so proud of you, Strife. Not only have you mastered our teachings, but you also have helped your guildmates regain their perspective that they had lost. For showing such compassion to your peers, I wish to teach you a new technique, Wind Bite. With Wind Bite, you can bring the power of the very air around you to bear against your opponents, and they will suffer on long after you have knocked your next arrow. It will serve you well in battle, I am certain. All archers walk the same path, Strife, towards improvement and discovery. As long as you have the vision to see the path ahead, you will continue to mature and excel. Yet we all grow weary and lose direction in time. When this befalls you, I have no doubt that you will find your way back to us. Trust in your eyes, Strife. They will never lead you astray. And that's the end of the archer half. Medium plus. Alright, so we'll take a quick break here. Let me use the restroom, check my drink, and then we will start the next half of this. Alright, we're back. Let's continue the next half. Well met, Strife. Would that we had the time for banter, but we're all up in arms here. Yet another XIV dirigible has been spotted over the 12wood, you see. Their reappearance calls to my mind the Battle of Griffin Crossing. Well, I say battle. Most are agreed that massacre would be rather more apt. Aye, the XIV dealt us a crushing defeat that day. Right around this time of year, it was more than 2 decades past. A humiliating episode in our history, to be sure, but heavens forbid that we ever forget it. Failure is the finest, if not the kindest, of teachers, and few things drive a man better than its sting. But let's speak of cheerier matters. Mayhap you've already heard, but a renowned archer has recently returned to the 12wood, the one they call the God's Bow. That's just the title, of course. His birth name is Jehantel, and he was once of the God's Quiver. The man was a legend even then, and there was no honor greater than being taken under his tutelage. But that's not all there is to him, mind you. Jehantel was also a skilled bard, one of the rare few capable of inspiring others to great feats through song. Upon learning that the God's Bow had returned, dozens of us flocked to him in hopes of training under a legend, yours truly included. Alas, the meetings haven't unfolded quite as we hoped. Jehantel has refused to teach each and every suitor that has approached him thus far. Now, it should be mentioned that the topics he is reluctant to instruct us in do not include poetry and songs. He seems exceedingly keen to teach us all about them. Some few of us were tempted to take him up on the offer, save that we have a nation to defend. Far be it from my intent to belittle all those bards out there, but I like my chances rather better charging into battle with a quiver than a harp. And here we were hoping that transcendent mastery of the bow might be ours. By the sparkle in your eyes, I'd wager you have an interest in that self-same poetry and song. Come now, there is no call for shyness, and there is more to life than battle. If you would present yourself as a pupil to Jehantel, I happen to know his whereabouts. I'm given to understand that he has made his camp somewhere west of Quarrymill in the South Shroud. Jehantel is an agreeable sort of fellow, and should be willing enough to meet with you. Truth be told, I'm still holding on to hope. If you could find a way into Jehantel's confidence, mayhap he can yet be persuaded to train us. I wish you the best of luck, friend. The South Shroud! Another guest. You were kind to pay me visit, young one. Naught gives us elderly folk more pleasure than the company of the young. Add to that a steaming pot of tea and the beauty of the 12wood, and we could want for a little more. But the curl of your lip tells me that tea and scenery are not what you desire. You seek knowledge of archery, I take it. In which case, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. Strife, was it? Yes, I am Jehantel, the one they called the God's Bow, but that was in another life. I have long cast aside my bow, taking instead a harp to my breast. For years I have lived as a bard, going wherever the wind blows, exulting in the beauty of creation through song. To be sure, I still have the eyes to recognize a promising archer when I see one, and you, young one, have promise. Keep your nose to the grindstone, and one day you may count yourself a virtuoso of the bow. Yet know that virtuosity is worthless without virtue. Aye, the words of the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool tell us this much. You truly wish to remain and learn poetry and verse? Well, I must admit to being rather taken aback. In uncertain days such as these, there are few indeed who would devote their time to song as opposed to more tangible endeavors. You intrigue me, young one. I find myself growing curious as to how the melodies of old might find expression through you. I do believe a certain friend of mine would be of the self-same opinion. Aye, that would be as good a place as any for us to begin. Listen well, Strife. There is a Moogle named Puknopoki, who can oft be found wandering in areas situated east of here. I would have you present yourself to him. Puknopoki is possessed of a discerning eye for talent. If he sees potential in you, I should be well satisfied that you indeed have the makings of a bard. Heed me, O puissant Althic. Turn thee over the hourglass of time, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore. Yol. Oh. I pulled a yol. Oh. Kupa! How could this have happened? It's just so embarrassing. A blunder for the ages. Kupo! You understand what I'm saying, don't you? That's a rare talent, I'll allow, but you've caught me at a bad time, Kupo. Now, be a good adventurer and show yourself out. Jahantel sent you? You should have said so sooner, Kupo! You do know that Jahantel is no ordinary bard, yes? His songs can salve your heart and strengthen your resolve. They can banish your fears and fill you with hope, and that's not even scratching the surface. Why, to hear him perform is like bathing in sunbeams. Kupo! I've asked, begged, and pled more times than I care to count for Jahantel to stay and sing in the forest. Only now has he deigned to set foot here again, but he's refusing to sing for us. That's a blatant breach of promise, Kupo! But what's this? Why, your being resonates with a chord similar to Jahantel's. Perhaps even identical, Kupo! By the 12, this means that things may yet turn out as planned. Why, you might even have it in you to surpass the man. And that's saying a lot. Kupo! Egads, your coming had so excited me, my predicament nigh escaped my mind. There's a charm that I had meant to give to Jahantel, you see, but it was stolen as I napped. Kupo! I roused just in time to espy the thief and attempted to give chase. Alas, drowsiness robbed me of my balance, and I was delayed by this tree. Last I saw of that overbold brigand, he, or possibly she, was scurrying towards Taker's Rot. Kupo! Now I realize we've only just met, but would you mind recovering the charm and delivering it to Jahantel in my stead? Sure. Just gonna wander right up in here. Don't mind me. Coming through. Pardon me. I'm just gonna take that. Have you recovered the charm? You did it. Kupo! Please, you must now deliver it to Jahantel. Tell him that Puknopoki thinks him a cunning rogue, but is excited nonetheless. So excited in the fact that he cannot help but sing. Kupa la 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 la. Right. Hey, you don't happen to know that Moogle that I met on that carriage? You know, that kind of drank himself stupid? Welcome back, Strife. You have a charm and a message for me from Pokemon. A cunning rogue, am I? I suppose I must explain. Puknopoki and I go back a long way, to when first I took up the harp. I made a promise to him then, one that I have yet to make good on. Puknopoki has long desired that I remain the 12th to sing for the rest of my days. Regrettably, I have been ill able to oblige him. Duty called, you see. I had battlefields to stand upon and comrades to protect. Moreover, an event came to pass that rendered my being in the 12th problematic. I thought that by taking eager souls such as you into my ring, I would please my purpose. Of course, he saw straight through my little ruse. With the Mughals lacking grace, they amply make up for it. The creatures are great lovers of song, and that you return with this charm is proof positive of his high regard for your potential as bard and archer both. The charm is a crystal known as the soul of the bard. Puknopoki asked that you bring it to me, but he meant for you to have it. It is a gift from the Mughals, bestowed upon those they deem worthy of walking the path of the true bard. The soul of the bard harbors memories of the past, verses and refrains sung by the bards of old. As you gain in worldly experience, more of these memories will find expression through your being, imbuing your song with powers untold. Now, it may surprise you to hear that bowmen and bards are as next of kin. By the same token, mastery of song is dependent upon one's prowess as an archer. The sense in this will be lost upon you at first, but in time the realization will dawn that the bow and harp are but stringed instruments played by the same hand. Go now, Strife, and let your body and soul drink deep the melodies of old. When next we meet, I hope to see a fully fledged bard standing before me, one who exceeds even Puknopoki's wildest expectations. Le Bard unlocked. Mage's Ballad! The glint of determination in your eyes is a testament to your newfound strength. You put me in mind of my salad days, Strife. You would know why I truly abandoned the battlefield and became a bard? That I took an arrow in the knee is what most folk believe, but it is quite clear you are not most folk. Very well, I shan't insult your intelligence with an untruth. For now, allow me to answer by saying that everything in creation is given to change, and man most of all. I was drawn to the power of song, the power to touch the very souls of men, and decided that I must pursue it. Sadly, that power has been all but forgotten in this age of cynicism. Such songs as those performed by tavern bards serve no purpose beyond the amusement of drunkards. But that was not always the way of it. There was a time when song could shape the outcome of conflict. Ever since nations first quarreled, armies have fielded archers wherewith they rained death upon the enemy from afar. As the battle unfolded, however, the distinction between the lines of friend and foe would grow easy, yet the archer's part did not end there. He had to stay ever alert, with arrow nocked and eyes trained upon the struggle. Even as his comrades fell, turning the earth red with their blood, the archer could ill afford to avert his gaze, as that moment cost another his life. One need not have a vivid imagination to appreciate the torrent of emotions that raised his influence. Nerves near to fraying, his breast fit to burst, the archer did the only thing he could. He sang. His bow became a makeshift instrument, plucked as an accompaniment. At first, the archer sang only to still the roiling within, but his voice chanced to carry to his comrades. It inspirited those engaged in combat, lending strength to their sword arms, and to those who lay upon the precipice of death it granted a measure of peace. Realizing the tactical potential of song, yet loath to set aside skilled archers for that purpose, armies began raising dedicated regiments of minstrels. But the members of such units were no warrior Strife. Fair of voice and nimble of finger, these career minstrels could find a place in the hall of any lord. Yet they knew not of the burden borne by those who charge into battle, whose lot is to dance with death and soup on pain. And so their songs rang hollow, holding no power over the hearts of men. In eastern Lenosha, spirits are said to haunt the trees of Raincatcher Gully. I would ask you to travel there and await the emergence of these specters. Through force of arms, you were to release the spirits from their tormented existence, and in doing so, ease their unfathomable suffering. With such a deed, might you draw forth an ancient melody from the soul of the bard. We get to leave Gridania for this! Woo! And back to Quarry Mill. Welcome back, Strife. In your eyes I see a layer of understanding, of regret, and of futility. And in your heart, it now echoes with the strains of an old song newly discovered. Embrace this song, and as you play it in battle, shall ever more powerful emotions beset and temper your soul. When your stock of tales has grown, pray return and regale me with the stories of your adventures. The Wanderer's Paon, or the Warden's Paon. It is good to see you return, Strife, and more seasons still for your time in the world. Call me a spoony bard, but as a man in the winter of his years, it gives me great joy to enjoy the intensity of the spring of his. This is an odd time for recollection, but it was a spring day when a bard first came to my hometown. He played the most sorrowful chords, even as his words tantalized the ear like the breath of one's first love. Many a maiden's heart was stolen during his visit, and doubtless more besides. Strife, would you believe that common bards, too, were born of archers? This may seem far-fetched upon first hearing, but it isn't so far a stretch. Ask yourself this. What becomes of soldiers when conflict gives way to peacetime? Some have lives they might return to, aye, but most must needs take up a new trade to make ends meet. Well, it so happened that many who had once bent the bow took to strumming the harp. They wandered the realm, singing passionately and earnestly of the wars seen through their own eyes, of sweet victories and bitter defeats, of sacrifice and cowardice. Their songs so captured the imagination of the people, nary a day passed that a bard was not called to perform, be it in a humble tavern or some great lord's hall. Alas, their popularity proved their downfall. Intoxicated by the attentions of the masses, the bards took to embellishing their songs in a bid to outdo one another. And over time, each song was shorn of verity, till the bard's repertoire contained not one shred of truth. But now you will know that such songs have no purchase upon the men's hearts. Certainly, a bawdy tune may set off his fits of laughter in a sailor, and a sorrowful ballad summon tears from the eyes of a soft-hearted maiden, yet these are but pale shadows of what songs can achieve. For a blessing, this decline did not escape the notice of the Mughals. As great patrons of the arts, they feared that the true power of song might be lost to mankind. So it was that they labored to gather and safeguard those crystals known as souls of the bard, that they might be bestowed upon worthy men and women. Now, well as I know you relish listening to my sermons, I dare say it's past time we moved on to the practical side of the lesson. I know I have mentioned this previously, but tell me, are you perchance familiar with the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool? Nay? Well, that won't do at all. We must remedy this post-haste. The song recounts the massacre of Griffin Crossing, a battle that took place decades past, wherein countless Gridanian lives came to a premature end. But do forgive me, I seem to have mistaken the proper order of things. Before I begin, I must be convinced that the point of the tale will not be lost upon you. Elsewise, I will have wasted my breath in the telling of it. Now heed well these instructions. You must make your way to Welwick Wood, where resides a native pair of Albert that have but recently lost a kid. The pair have been driven mad with grief, and only death can put an end to their uncontrolled rampage. Linger in their territory until you encounter the beast, then let fly your arrows of mercy. As you liberate them from their sorrow, so too shall their soul listen to the tempest and flame. Oh my god, we're going to Eastern Tunnel in Ogden! Just when I thought I wouldn't have to go back there. Since we got out of the Uldal section. I mean, I probably technically wouldn't have had to do it, but... Moon! Moon, 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 and a moon, and a moon, and a moon, moon. Welcome back, Strife. I can almost hear the cries of mourning that have seared themselves into your soul. That you remain unbowed by such anguish is a testament to the spirit's fortitude. Yet even as your heart swells to contain these new experiences, you must not neglect your skills with the bow. A resilient heart must needs have a robust body in which to beat. Once you have trained both to equal strength, then shall I perform for you the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool. The army's payoff. Doing it the Bard way. Welcome back, Strife. By your tranquil countenance, it is plain that both your body and soul are in readiness for the next stage of your journey. Very well. The time is ripe that I teach you the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool. The song tells the tale of an archer of the god's quiver whose peerless skill was surpassed only by his hubris. Alas, that hubris led to the annihilation of his entire regiment at the battle, which has come to be called the Massacre of Griffin Crossing. Standing guard in the dead of night, an archer weary of the sight, drunk on pride and slaughter's glory, forsook his post to claim victory. 10 yards as he wind shriek rang out with his comrades slept, for he was not there to see them, nor to don't mind my terrible interpretation of that. Tell me, Strife, what lessons can be learned from this tale? But hold that thought. What your tongue claims to understand interests me not. As before, I'd sooner have you demonstrate the fruits of your learning with bow in hand. This time, however, you shall have the pleasure of my company. I would have you escort me to the Gamora ruins in the North Shore. It is there that some few fallen from the massacre of Griffin Crossing have been laid to rest. Pray honor this place of remembrance with a bouquet of lilies. Heed me, O puissant Aztec. Cast thee back the reins of the firmament, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore. Tiger. The enemy van. No, I cannot. Why do I still draw breath? That a sin of the past would beget another. Forgive me, Strife. As you have doubtless noticed, I am no longer capable of wielding a bow. I, whom they call the God's Bow. I had hoped that the years would take the edge off the memories, but I hoped in vain. Absolution does not come easily. Heed me well, Strife, for I shall reveal all to you. The man sung of the ballad of the vainglorious fool, whose hubris doomed an entire regiment. He and I are one and the same. Being no stranger to the bow, you will know that the archer's role in battle is that of support. His charge is to thin out the enemy line, that his comrades might gain ground in the field of battle. By that most basic of criteria, I was unfit to hold a bow from the first. In my pride and lust for glory, I sent countless souls to a bloody grave. Good men and women all, with loved ones and bright futures awaiting them. I lost the will to live that day, becoming an empty husk of a man, tormented in sleep and wakefulness both by the memories of my crime. But the gods were not without mercy. They gifted me with song that I might find a measure of solace in my wretched existence. A new melody resounds within you, I see. Though the sounding was rather far departed from what I had in mind, and it still bore fruit gives me comfort. On that note, let us conclude this lesson. I dare say I have no cause to worry that you will repeat the selfsame mistakes as the vainglorious fool. Strife, I would be alone for a while. Take yourself back to camp. I shall make my own way there presently. To South Shroud! Ooh. Oh, we're almost done. Like 2 more quests, I think. Glad to see you safely returned. Though I rasp my voice hoarse through the saying of it, cannot tell you enough times how much I regret dragging you into such danger. And yet there is more I would ask of you. If you would do me the kindness of lending your ear, then pray speak now. The Rain of Death technique. You will listen to my request, though you know me for the vainglorious fool I am. I am humbled. The boon I ask of you is simple. I would have you sing for me. A heartfelt performance, masterfully delivered. You have come far in such a short time, my young apprentice. Hearing your song this day, I am convinced that you are well on your way to surpassing me as a bard and archer both. Soon there will be naught left for me to impart to you. Strife, you have proven yourself worthy of the consecrated garments worn by the true bards of old to honor the Keeper. I speak of the choral attire. The attire was entrusted to me when Puknopoki and I first met. Deep within the Twelveswood, the Moogle and I traded scarce more than a handful of words when he proffered me the attire along with the soul of the bard. At the time, I knew not the true power of song and so declined the gifts, but Puknopoki would not be denied. For all his good humor, the Moogle can be as unmoving as a rock. The attire chooses the wearer, not the other way around, he insisted, and I found myself yielding to his will. In mastering the verses of war, I won acclaim beyond my wildest dreams upon the field of battle, and for a time I was well pleased. Alas, my lust for glory knew no bounds, the consequence of which you are already aware. Is in the wake of the massacre of Griffin Crossing. Stricken with guilt, I wanted not more than the earth to open up and swallow me whole. I had lost the will to live, aye, but I was too craven to end up myself. And so I took to wandering aimlessly in search of a place to die, far away from the judging eyes of men. Disillusioned with the power of song, I committed an act of folly. I scattered the choral attire across the realm. If truly the attire chooses its wearer, I challenged, then let it find its way back to me. Determined that I would not be proven wrong, I went to great pains to assure that the attire would never see again the light of day. And the pieces now rest in places of peril. Being the proud fool that I was, it never crossed my mind that mayhap another was meant to don it. I would entrust the choral attire to you, Strife, but as you can see, you must needs brave the dangers to claim it. I shall mark its whereabouts on your map, but I can afford you no further aid beyond that. I'm deeply sorry that my folly of years past has entailed this burden upon you, but all things works in mysterious ways. In his wisdom, it may be that he has sent this trial to test your spirit. I mean not for my sentiments to encumber you, but I am convinced that you are the one chosen by the choral attire. But pray do not take this as a license for complacency. Trials wouldn't be called such if they failed to tax one's ability. Stay ever on your toes, Strife. I would have you return whole of body and bearing the 4 parts of my surrendered raiment. Heed me, O Posantathic. Reverse thee the seasons turning, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore. Well, might as well grab the one here. Well, half stone, I'm pretty sure that's Linza, or out on the push, that's Northern Poland. I don't remember where Gold Leaf Diet is off the top of my head. Well, we're almost done with Bard. 2.5 hours, probably be closer to 3 by the time I'm done, so not about the same as Black Mage. There's the pants. Yeah, ironically enough, even though this is New Game Plus, I found that you can still get most of the 45 gear through doing this again. Because I found out the other day, or when I was messing around today, that there's the Paladin gauntlets, Monk gloves, and Black Mage gloves for the ARR class gear. There's the boots. Alright, where was that one? Ah, okay. That one's in XIV. La da dee da da dee da. La da 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 da. La da da deep within the Silklands. Alright, back to Quarry Mill. So this will wrap up the final part of the 45 quest, and then we do the 50 quest, and then we're done. So you have returned, sound of body and mind, I trust, and you bear the 4 parts of the coral attire. I knew you for the true owner of these garments ere I heard your song. Since the day we met, your determination has reminded me much of that I had lost, and would have again. I have at last settled my heart on a matter that has plagued me for some decades. When my preparations are complete, you shall know of my decision. Until then, may your song lift the spirits of your allies, and your arrows seek the hearts of your foes. Requiem for the Fallen. You have done well, my young apprentice. In returning with the coral attire, you have reaffirmed my faith in you. I see no further reason to withhold from you the existence of the final piece in the set, the piece that has brought us together. Listen well, Strife. When I put down my bow, I vowed never again to set foot in the 12-wood. That I now forsake my oath is for no other reason than to impart my knowledge to one who would succeed me. Lest you wonder why I should deem that so important, permit me to relate to you an event which brought about a great change in me. My most recent journey had taken me to Ul'dah, where I found myself ambling through the marketplace early one morning. Browsing the wares on display, mine eyes were met with a relic from my past. A piece from the coral attire that I had discarded decades before, countless moons away. I felt at once that it was not mere chance that had reunited me with it, and I put forth the coin with nary a pause. Holding the garment in my hands, I resolved to find a worthy heir to my legacy. Alas, no sooner had I arrived in the 12-wood than I found myself mobbed by archers seeking to hone their skills. Amongst those who came, not a one showed the least interest in poetry and verse. Sorely discouraged and regretting my decision, I made to strike camp and leave the 12-wood once more, never to return. It was then that you appeared, young one. When you expressed your desire to learn song, I could scarce contain my joy. Looking back, I'm fully convinced that our meeting had been preordained. Your coming has instilled me with the courage to attend that matter of which I spoke earlier. I am ready to make a pilgrimage to the scene of my regiment's demise. Ever since that fateful day, I've been haunted by visions of my fallen comrades, torment graven upon their bloodied faces. Lost to hope, but too craven to end my own life, I wandered the land aimlessly, seeking a place to die. But the heavens denied me even then. Yet just when it seemed that despair would draw me wholly on into its black abyss, never to emerge again, a melody resounded within me. It was then that I awakened to the power of song and found a new purpose in life. I embarked upon a journey to master such verses as would bestow peace upon the fallen, that I might lay the tortured souls of my comrades to rest. It has taken long years, but now I believe I can offer a requiem worthy of my comrades. To do so, however, I require one last favor of you, Strife. I would have you escort me to the west of the Observatorium in the Kurthus Central Highlands. It is there that we shall find the scene of my regiment's demise. Your presence kindles within me a courage I had thought lost. I would have none other by my side as I undertake this pilgrimage, now as I enter the most daunting stage of my life. Once you arrive, I ask that you pay your respects with another bouquet of Nimia rose. When my requiem is sung, you shall have the final piece of the choral attire. Heed me, O puissant Althic. Reverse thee the dance of the stars athwart the night sky, that we might ease the suffering of souls long departed. To Kurthus! Flying through the sky, hoping my mount won't make me Let's do this. We are surrounded, and our foes seem disinclined to listen to parley. You must survive this strife. My soul is overburdened with the deaths of too many dear companions. Strife, without you, I would not be standing here this day. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Forgive me, my friends. I have kept you waiting over long. The Keeper be praised. I can wield a bow once more. It was you, young one, who helped me to remember how. I had known this for some time, but your presence is as a slave for the wounds of a salve for the wounds of my soul. Your coming has delivered me from the nightmares of my past. My worthy successor, to you I entrust the final piece of the choral attire. Don it and go forth to fill the hearts of men with courage and purpose. Though the seasons may turn, bending a man's back and dimming his eye, so long as there is life, there is reason to hope. Thank you, Strife, for showing me the truth of this. With the blood of my comrades upon my hands, to simply draw breath racked me with such guilt as I could not bear. But the time for mourning is past. I shall take up the bow once more and lend what aid I can to the gods' quiver. In fighting for those who yet live, I do my fallen comrades the greatest honor. Yet another melody resounds within you, I see. Then there is not more I can impart to you. As equals, let us together give praise to life and all the joy that it brings. Lead me, O Poisson Celtic, turn thee over the hourglass of time, that we might exult in the glory of all creation. In thine exalted name we sing, that the living may savor life and the departed know true peace. I thank you again, Strife. You have blessed this old fool with the gentle touch of salvation. Eorzea awaits. Go forth now and inspire endless hope and courage with the beauty of your songs. May we one day meet again. And that's when we learned Battle Voice. And that's the end of that. I get to go back home now. Oh. Alright, so that wraps up Bard. So we can go ahead and end this here. I don't know if anybody's streaming right now. Storm Doctor's doing FF16. He's doing Pokemon. Strawberry's doing Genshin. Pokemon's doing Dark Souls. Let's see what Storm's doing. Alright, I'm not even going to bother with it tonight, because I'm trying to avoid spoilers on a lot of things. Alright, so yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. 1 down, 2 to go for Gridania. Tomorrow, Rain, Zell, and I will hopefully be returning to Chrono Trigger. Hopefully, as long as everyone's feeling up for it. So we'll get a break from the job hunting for a day. And if we don't do Chrono Trigger, and I mean this is a very big if, I may consider doing the next part tomorrow to kind of kick off my streamiversary. In which, so either tomorrow will be either Chrono Trigger or Lancer Dragoon for Gridania. If we do Chrono Trigger, Lancer Dragoon will do Saturday. And if we don't do, Lancer Dragoon will do Friday, and then we'll do Conjurer White Mage on Saturday. And then, yeah, maybe then Sunday, yeah, that'll kind of leave Sunday open. Maybe I'll just do, maybe I'll knock off, Arcanist on Sunday or something. Or Ninja. And then I'll do, Arcanist on Monday, because that'll branch off into 2 paths I'll have to cover in kind of separate videos. And then Warrior will be done separately as well, same day, just so this way I have individual videos for each one. And then Tuesday, we will hopefully wrap up a Realm Reborn visitation with the Manderville quests. So, if we can get all that done, we will be able to start Heavensward here soon. So, we'll see where it goes, but I hope you enjoyed the revisiting the jobs with me. It was nice to revisit them. Yeah, like I said, for Ul'dah, I think Black Mage was probably my least favorite, while Paladin was probably my favorite. Gridania, I gotta refresh my memory on these. I feel like between the 3, Bard had the kind of weakest route, but I'll be able to reaffirm that as I progress through the other 2. So, and we will also attempt to do these for Heavensward and Stormblood as well. I will not, as I've said multiple times with doing the revisitation with Zell, once we get to Shadowbringers, I will not be streaming Shadowbringers again, as I've already streamed through that, my first impression. But I will be kind of providing color commentary and helping Zell progress through. And then maybe once we finish that, I will go through, because Shadowbringers, if I remember correctly, did not have a Manderville, so I will be able to, the job quests for that one were the role quests, so I moved to take a day to those. And then same thing with Endwalker, and same thing with Dawn Trail. So, and hopefully by the time we get there, all of the Manderville Dawn Trail stuff will be out. So, we'll see where it goes. Anyway, that's enough rambling. So tomorrow, Friday, January 30th, 2026, will be either more Chrono Trigger with Team JRPG, or more a Realm Reborn visitation with Gridania Job Hunting, Lancer Dragoon Edition. We'll see what happens, but until then, have a great rest of your night, guys. Good night.